Well, we've done a lot of testing so far, but I've gotten one email asking about the settings for the camera. So at the start of this video, I'm showing what the settings are for the camera. However, before I start flying, I'm actually going to do a factory reset and start from the factory settings. But I've documented this so that I can fall back and see what worked and what didn't work. And in this case, I don't know that all these settings here worked. So if you're watching this video and you've got some insight on what these settings should be, by all means feel free to share it, because we may find out that we get a lot better video if the settings on the camera have been changed. So I'm going to go ahead and proceed with this, and then we're going to do a factory reset, and then we're going to do some flying. To save some time, I'm going to do a little voiceover here, and what I've started with is it hasn't gotten quite totally dark yet, so you can see the camera. I did change back to the factory settings, and also I did a little edit on the text at the bottom of the screen, which simply says now riding with ST, ST being Super Troy. And so you can see that I'm just making a couple of rounds, and what you want to pay attention to here is the course that I'm actually taking. Notice right here, see the runway, and now we're going to see those two areas of dirt. Go across the wood pile and head to the concrete pad. We're going to turn just in front of the concrete pad, duck under the tree. So now it's getting a little darker. We're going to do that again, and again you can see that there's still some light. I did do a little magic with settings on the video here so that you could see clearly what I was talking about. Notice we go through the trees. Now we're going to be looking for that runway. There's the runway. So we're going to cross that corner and then head across those two areas of dirt, across the wood pile, head to the concrete pad. You see the concrete pad there off to the right, and we're going to go duck under the tree. And we're going to go through the trees, either over the dirt mound or through the trees to the right. Again, we're looking for that runway. There it is. So we're going to make a turn, and now we're going to head straight for the concrete pad. Now obviously we can't see the concrete pad now, but we know about where it's at, and it's down past the end of the runway, and there it is off to the right again. So we'll make our turn and continue. So now let's go on to where we get a little bit darker. So now it's gotten a little darker, and you can see the spotlight's really working. Notice it lighting up the trees, and then also as I get close to the ground, the lens that's been removed is allowing more light through that bike light. Therefore I get a little better lighting up close. So you get the best of both worlds by using the bike light and removing one of the lenses. So notice here I'm turning right in front of the concrete pad, and now I'm going to go down and through the trees, and I'm going to estimate where I got to turn so that runway is right in front of me. There we go. Now we're going to go straight and head toward that concrete pad, and in just a minute I'm going to be putting a light that's going to be just past the concrete pad, and the light's actually going to shine back toward that tree, or the trunk of that tree. And there you can see that light, and there's a concrete pad, because now it's gotten really dark. So I'm relying solely on my light here and my timing to make this turn. And there's that runway, so we're going to go straight down and head to the light. Notice the light there. I know that light is right behind the concrete pad, so whenever I turn, say I'm going to be going over the concrete pad, that puts me on the track to go through the trees and follow the course. So now again I'm making the turn, looking for the runway. There the runway is. I'm going to stretch it out and go straight down, head toward the light down there, because that light again is illuminating the concrete. There you see it. And we've finished the turn, and we're going to go straight and through the trees. So now we're going to let it get even darker. Okay, so we're looking at about an hour after the sunset, so it's definitely dark. I do have about a half of a moon, and which is helping, we think. There's also not much dew on the ground, so that's a good thing too. So the video is actually really good for night flying, and so I got no complaint there. So here we're just going to go over the dirt mound. We're headed to the, see, I was wanted to make my turn quicker, but I should have waited until I got to the light, or at least the concrete pad, before I made the turn. And this is the kind of thing that you have to deal with and discipline yourself so that you don't overreact to a situation. In this case, you just slow down and get yourself back on track. So now we're looking, see, we found the concrete pad, and now we're going to go through the trees, and so now we're back on track. So a word of caution: if you get disoriented and you're flying at night and you're not sure where you're at, the best thing you can do is just shut your model down and let it land or crash or whatever you want to call it, because you can be places you don't expect yourself to be if you're not careful. So we're doing this and learning as we go, and I'm trying to share the information so that if somebody else wants to do this, they can learn from our experience rather than try to reinvent the wheel. I would much rather learn from somebody that's already done it. So let's go ahead and move on to some more video, and actually a little faster pace. Okay, in reality, this is what I see in my goggles. You're seeing the same thing I am, and there's no enhancement now. So you're seeing what I'm seeing to fly by. And because I know the path, and I know where I'm supposed to turn and what I'm supposed to be looking for, I'm pretty much able to stay on course and actually run at a pretty good clip. Now notice here, I'm flying out, I'm looking for that concrete pad, and there I made it to the light, so I know I've passed the pad, and now I'm turned going into the trees, and here goes the dirt mound. So I'm over the dirt mound. I'm going to be looking for that runway. There's the runway. So now I'm looking for the wood pile. Wood pile is going to be right below me. It's right there, and you see that light out there, so I'm turning right in front of it, around the trees, go down between the trees, and make the left turn and look for the runway. And there the runway is, so I'm right on target. So again, doing the same thing. There's the wood pile, headed toward that light. Gonna turn, right there's the concrete pad, making the left turn, go through the trees and over the dirt mound. So you can see I'm actually flying at a pretty good clip, and it is dark. It is not going to get much darker than what it is right now, and the lights are working out pretty good. I'm able to see, I'm comfortable, and I'm having a pretty good time here flying at night. Here's a quick look at my setup. The shim is really important, and that's about a 3/8 shim, I guess. But you can adjust it to your liking. That's what I'm liking, and my light is made so that it can break away the connectors up toward the front, so if it pulls, you can pull it out. The light has a lens on this side and no lens over there, and that's we're going to call that a sober light, because he actually came up with the idea about taking one lens out. Okay, I'm going to end this video with some high-speed running here at night, so hang on and enjoy the ride, and we'll see you next week.